You're fading away.
Well, that's what happens when you put your whole being into an attack. You know what I mean?
The limit break. It's not a concept that's original to the Kingdom Hearts series, nor is it necessarily a new concept in media as a whole. The ability to put everything, including your very life force, your entire being, into one final attack for when you're on your last legs and have no other choice is something that has been around for ages. However, its implications in the world of Kingdom Hearts goes just a tiny bit deeper than simply a gaming mechanic, as we've seen characters use devastating final moves as a way to finish off their enemies. But before I go into explaining why I believe this is a real thing just about anyone could accomplish, or already has, let me first break down what a limit break is in the gaming sense. On the 13th day in Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days, Lexaeus teaches Roxas about the concept of the limit break. It is the most powerful move at one's disposal and only works when you are on your last legs, or in less Disney-friendly terms, death. We then proceed to get our head bashed in by Lexaeus for some practical application. Our HP drops into the yellow and we are now able to use the limit break technique, which increases our Keyblade swings in power and speed. And this is not an ability exclusive to Roxas. In my headcanon, I think that this is something everyone in the organization eventually learned as they were added, each one taught by one of their seniors, and then by theirs, and so on. Everyone's limit break often increases their attack speed and strength, maybe adding a little more flair to their combos too, but it's the final limit that really takes the cake. Final Limit is truly what we're talking about today. It's the ultimate power and what we've seen used a few different times throughout the series in cinematic cutscenes. In order to identify what exactly a Final Limit Break is, we will be going based on rules set down by the prime example that is Axel in Kingdom Hearts 2. During the fight against the Nobodies in the Dark Corridor, Axel uses an incredibly powerful attack that erupts and explodes, decimating all of the Nobodies within the vicinity. Doing this, Axel dies in the sense that he fades away. He describes that it is putting all of your being into an attack, and we know this is a limit break because of how worn and beaten down he is as we fought alongside him at this moment. Because as you know, the only way to trigger limit break in the gaming sense is when you are worn down and beaten to your very last legs. Using that little bit of knowledge, we can also determine that Donald also used his final limit during the last battle of Kingdom Hearts 3 in the Keyblade Graveyard. In order to stop Terranort from erasing everyone, Donald goes sicko mode and uses a spell almost entirely unheard of in even the world of Final Fantasy. This move is known as Zeta Flare, is incredibly powerful and basically one-shots Terranort, but leaves Donald passed out and possibly dead for the time being. It might be a bit of a stretch to say that it is a final limit because Donald was not previously on his last legs prior to using this move. He wasn't even touched as far as I know, so this could just be a bit of a retcon in some sense if this is his final limit, but we're putting it on this list anyways because I'm trying to make a point here. And for the last example that comes to mind immediately is also a bit of a stretch, but the fight against Roxas in Kingdom Hearts 2 is a pretty good example. As you can see from his final limit from Days, it is very reminiscent of the move we see him where he uses his Keyblades, pointing them straight up and beams of light lash out at you. And as we see, he fades away after Sora defeats him. Kind of breaks the rules we've set for this final limit previously, as Roxas did not immediately fade away after using it, and this may not be accurate information, so please tell me if I am wrong. Since this all takes place in Sora's subconscious, the rules don't fully apply here when it comes to the final limit, as Roxas is not really here. So maybe those last two are a bit of a stretch, and they're not exactly the best example of what a final limit could be, but I really am just trying to drive a point here. Is this ability exclusive to the organization? Are they holding back on us and not really fully revealing what they're capable of? I think that this is an ability that we could see potentially show up in Kingdom Hearts 4, as it is like a last resort that Axel has shown off. I think that if executed properly, this could lead to some really dark and interesting moments in the Kingdom Hearts series going forward if, say, Axel or Lee, whatever he prefers to be called, were to teach this ability to, say, the Guardians of Light. What would their final limit look like? What could they do with it? Only time will tell. if this ability is a one-off and completely irrelevant to the story going forward, or if it will appear at a later date, we don't really know. But now that we've made it quite clear that this Final Limit thing is more than just a game mechanic from a DS game, what do you think could be the implications of it going forward? Do you think other characters will unlock their inner potential to use Final Limit? If so, tell me what you think in the comments below. I know this wasn't exactly the longest or most detailed of videos, but it is something I've been holding onto in the back of my mind for a while now, and I felt like I needed to get it out there. As always, I have more videos on the way. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing, and I will see you here next time. Peace.